Steelers fans just got the worst news of the 2025 offseason to this point. I'll reveal what that is at the top of today's edition of Steelers Talk. Then we'll get into ESPN NFL draft analyst Field Yates' latest mock draft and who he has the Steelers taking in his crazy latest NFL mock draft. Then we get into another Deebo Samuel report here where his asking price in a trade has been revealed by a San Francisco 49er beat reporter. So we'll get to that at the end of today's show. But before we get into the content, go ahead, click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We get you guys daily videos. Most weeks we give you guys 2 videos every single day. Also breaking news coverage every time Omar Khan makes a big move this offseason. Weekly live shows every Monday and Thursday, and it's all 100% free, guys. We got over 75,000 people already subscribed to this channel. We are the largest individually run Steelers channel here on the YouTube platform. So for your daily dose of Steelers news, click that subscribe button right now. So the worst news yet for the Pittsburgh Steelers here, as Pittsburgh is officially bringing back offensive line coach Pat Meyer for the 2025 NFL season. And out of all the coaching changes that I would have made to the Pittsburgh Steelers, at the very minimum, I wanted Mike Tomlin to replace Pat Meyer because he has done a terrible job here in Pittsburgh here over the last 3 seasons he has been with this organization, and he has been an absolute joke. And I think that the question on my mind is, like, if he's not getting fired after this last season when this offensive line really crumbled to finish off the season, it's been the 3rd straight year where this offensive line has really underperformed. When is enough going to be enough for Mike Tomlin to fire Pat Meyer? I mean, I just do not get this decision whatsoever. And, honestly, how long has it been now since Mike Tomlin has built a legitimate offensive line here in Pittsburgh? It's been years that this offensive line has been underperforming. And honestly, because this team wants to run the football as much as they want to run it, and then you pair that with the fact that this offensive line isn't very good whatsoever, that really does limit what this team is capable of doing, especially in the postseason on a year-to-year basis. And what I think makes this decision even worse, guys, is that 2025 is going to be a critical season for multiple members of the Steelers' offensive line. You spent 2 first-round draft picks on 2 very talented young men in Broderick Jones and Troy Fautanu over the last 2 NFL drafts, and you're going to be putting their development in the hands of Pat Meyer, who has been arguably the worst offensive line coach in the National Football League since he's arrived here in Pittsburgh, not to mention Mason McCormick, who's currently trying to move over from left guard, where he played in college, over to right guard. By the way, Pat Meyer did a terrible job with that transition for McCormick this year, and he struggled down the stretch. And I don't necessarily blame Mason because he is making that transition, and the coaches and the coaching here, and Pat Meyer and specifically, he's responsible for cultivating that transition for Mason McCormick. So listen, man, I can't say that I can stand here and tell you guys right now that I feel confident that Pat Meyer is going to be able to foster the development of these offensive linemen. You need Broderick Jones, you need Troy Fautanu, and you need Mason McCormick, all of them, to have good seasons next year if the Steelers want any shot at winning a Super Bowl. And it really does come down to this, guys. It's plain and simple. In an offense that really relies on offensive line play, that really relies on the run game, if these guys don't develop under the tutelage of Pat Meyer, you can kiss any shot of the Pittsburgh Steelers winning the Super Bowl in 2025, and that is why retaining Pat Meyer might end up being the worst decision for the Pittsburgh Steelers that they could have made for the 2025 offseason. So predict it for me down there in the comment section. Will the Pittsburgh Steelers pick up Broderick Jones' 5th-year option next offseason? Because this is going to tell us whether or not you think that Pat Meyer is going to do a good job. If he develops Broderick Jones next season, then they'll probably pick up his 5th-year option after having a good season. But if Pat Meyer doesn't do a good job and Broderick sucks again, that means you're probably not picking up his 5th-year option. So give me a yes or a no and predict it for me down there in the comments section. In just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at Mando Whole Body Deodorant. While I'm talking about Mando today, go find that pinned comment at the top of the comment section and give me a yes or a no. And with that, let's have a word from our sponsor today at Mando Whole Body Deodorant. Let me ask you guys a question. What do you guys do in order to get ready for a first date? You get a new haircut, you clean your car, you get your fit together. All that stuff is great, but something that's a non-negotiable is your deodorant. That's where my favorite whole body deodorant comes into play here with Mando. Mando is safe to use anywhere on your body and is clinically proven to block odor all day and control your odor for up to 72 hours. Also, Mando's entire line of products are baking soda free, paraben free, and you can choose from a variety of fresh scents like bourbon leather, Clover Woods, Mount Fuji, or Pro Sport. You can find all of their products in major retailers such as Walmart and Target. But for the best deals, guys, go to shopmando.com. And you guys, when you get the starter pack with Mando, which is our special promotion today, you can get this mini body wash here, the bourbon leather body washes. I have a big bottle of this at my apartment here at home, and I absolutely love this stuff, man. It smells absolutely fantastic. Cassie loves it as well. You guys know Cassie. She loves the way that this bourbon leather scent smells, which is why we got the big bottle for me back at my apartment. So if you guys want to get the bourbon leather body wash and then all of their great products there, you guys can get Mando's starter pack today. And really, guys, the starter pack is perfect for new customers because it comes with a solid stick of deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the mini body wash we talked about or the deodorant wipes work great as well, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code that equates over to 40% off your entire starter pack. So use code CHAP at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando Whole Body Deodorant today. So ESPN's Field Yates just released his latest NFL mock draft, and he has 3 quarterbacks going in round 1, and the Steelers would be taking a quarterback here with Ole Miss signal caller Jaxson Dart. God, I hate this move, man, but Field Yates had this to say about the move. Yes, free agents Russell Wilson or Justin Fields could be back, but the Steelers' pedestrian offense has held them back from playoff success in recent seasons, and Dart had a prolific college career. Over the past 2 seasons, he has 7,633 passing yards, 51 touchdown throws, and 11 interceptions. Dart is a capable thrower to all levels of the field and has enough mobility to operate outside the pocket and on the run. Dart also took advantage of Senior Bowl week with a strong showing in front of Pittsburgh coach Mike Tomlin, who was on the field at each practice. This projection represents a big rise up the board from where Dart currently ranks outside my top 32, but quarterbacks always have a chance to climb given the positional value. Keep an eye on Dart here as we get closer to April. And all I can say to this, guys, is the Pittsburgh Steelers better not repeat the same mistake that they made with Kenny Pickett, drafting him too early. I had a day 2 grade on Kenny Pickett. I have a day 2 grade on Jaxson Dart. And with the Steelers trying to win now, guys, I would rather get a player that can help you try and win a championship now, whether it be at defensive line, whether it be wide receiver, whether it's corner. I'd rather get any one of those other positions, running back, if Ashton Genty makes it to you in the first round, other than taking Jaxson Dart and reaching on this guy that I think is a day 2 prospect. You know, maybe he can turn into something nice. There are things to like about Dart's film. He does have some nice touch on his deep ball. The anticipation, you see that pop up on his film as well. That's something that's very important. He is a plus rusher. I wouldn't call him a dynamic rusher, but he's certainly a plus rusher, and he's very competitively tough. He will run over somebody at the goal line to get a touchdown if needed. The players around him love playing for him, and then he's really, really good at operating the RPO game. They ran a lot of that in Lane Kiffin's offense there at Ole Miss, but the mental processing and the decision-making, especially against the tougher competition that he faced in college, was just not up to par, throwing the ball into windows that he shouldn't be throwing them into, sticking to his first read too often, and then, you know, the pass-heavy situations when the defense knew he had to throw the football, it wasn't good whatsoever, in my opinion, especially against those higher-level SEC defenses that he had to play, especially this past year there with the Rebels. And he had some pretty darn good receivers to work with as well. Plus, he doesn't have the best footwork in the world, guys, which leads to some accuracy concerns in terms of my grading. So I do have a day 2 grade on him. If the Steelers get him in like round 4, that's kind of a steal. I'd be fine with that. But reaching on him in round 1 to be your new franchise quarterback, I think would be an absolutely disastrous move for Omar Khan and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, you know, I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers, as a team that's trying to win now, this isn't a move that you make because young quarterbacks in their first and second years really do not win Super Bowls, all right? So if you're drafting Jaxson Dart to be your starter for right now, I think you can pretty much kiss any shot at a Super Bowl for Cam Hayward in the final 2 years of his career goodbye. This is why I am an advocate here, guys, of getting a veteran quarterback that has been on that big stage in the playoffs and can deliver potentially a Super Bowl championship, or at least give this team the best possible chance to win a Super Bowl championship in the next 2 years before Cam Hayward retires. If you restart at the quarterback position and draft a rookie in round 1 and you make him the new franchise quarterback, the chances of Captain Cam retiring with a Super Bowl ring on his finger are pretty much over. Then you get to the veteran quarterback options here that I would consider here. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Matthew Stafford if he's made available via trade. I think Sam Darnold is a very good fit for Arthur Smith's offense. Aaron Rodgers and then Derek Carr are all options at the Steelers' disposal. And, I think that there's pros and cons to each of these quarterback options. But whatever option they go with, guys, I'd rather have any one of these 6 quarterbacks right now than Jaxson Dart over the next 2 years. So it's red pen time. Let me know down there in the comment section, what grade would you give Jaxson Dart to the Pittsburgh Steelers in round 1 if that ended up being the pick? Give me an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F. For me, I'm sorry, Field Yates, I have to give this one a big fat F. Then we get to the final story on today's edition of Steelers News and Rumors, which is that there's a new report out there suggesting that the San Francisco 49ers have let teams know here and that they're making it known what their asking price is in a trade for San Francisco 49ers receiver Deebo Samuel. Let's see what Nick Wagner, the ESPN beat reporter for San Francisco, had to say. Because Samuel is coming off a down year and is entering the final year of his contract with other top receivers set to be available in free agency or trade, a day 3 draft pick and perhaps another late round pick would probably satisfy the 49ers. And listen, man, I think that I would personally want to draft a wide receiver to pair with either George Pickens or another veteran receiver like Devontae Adams or T. Higgins or somebody of that like. But, I can certainly see why Deebo Samuel is catching the interest of specifically Arthur Smith, because Art likes to use these kind of versatile type of offensive weapons. We saw it when they brought in Cordero Patterson last year. These guys that can play wide receiver, running back, can move them around the formation, can play outside, can play in the slot, good run blockers. I mean, Deebo Samuel is like the consummate Arthur Smith type of Swiss Army knife weapon on offense. So I can certainly see why the Steelers would be interested in Deebo. They were interested in him last year before the NFL draft. Nothing ended up coming to fruition on that front, but I could certainly see the Pittsburgh Steelers being interested in Deebo Samuel, especially for the price tag of a day 3 draft pick. So that's anywhere between round 4 to round 7. But no matter what the asking price is and no matter what the Steelers want Deebo Samuel at, I think that Omar Khan is going to stick to his price. We saw it last year with the Brandon Ayuk saga. Omar Khan sets his price and he says, you guys can take it or leave it. We're not coming off of that. And whether that's a 5th round pick, whether that's a 7th round pick, the Steelers don't have a 6th rounder this year. I think it's going to be either the 5th or the 7th round pick that's up on the chopping block. And we'll see if the 49ers end up coming to the table. So you be the GM for me down there in the comment section. Do you want to add a rookie or a veteran wide receiver this year as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan? I want to go out and get a rookie, get younger at this position, get somebody for the outside and for the future. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. Type V if you want a veteran, or type R if you want a rookie. And if you want both, how about you type B down there in the comment section as well. That'll be it for today's edition of Steelers News and Rumors, powered by Chat Sports. I really do appreciate all of your guys' support. I will see you guys next time, and until next time, here we go, Steelers.